Hi, good morning. I'm Dr. Malay Mehta, cosmetic dermatologist and a hair transplant surgeon from Mumbai. I will be discussing about whether one should do a hair transplant or not. The patients who come to our clinic regarding the hair fall problem, they always ask about this thing. So first of all, you need to understand what is the diagnosis for this particular condition. So primarily, this procedure or this surgery has been designed to give result in patients with androgenetic alopecia. Before we jump onto the treatment option, we always discuss about what is the condition. So now androgenetic alopecia, it is a genetically determined condition in which what happens, the hair grows little backward, the hairline is receding, and the person tend to see the frontal baldness very evident. Sometimes there are cases who end up seeing the crown area being little more wider. So when the stages are advanced, what happens, the frontal area is also going and the crown area involves an entire top of the head becomes bald. So those are the cases who are the actual candidate for the hair transplant surgery. Now most of the patients think like, I am bald, should we do the surgery or should we not do the surgery? It is always good if you have a nearby dermatologist, go to him, speak to him, he will examine the scalp condition. Based on the diagnosis, he will be able to tell you your condition is androgenetic alopecia, then you can think about doing the surgery. Now, having the baldness not give you the license to undergo the surgery, because there are other causes of baldness like lichen planus, like pseudopelade of Brock, like DLE, that is a discoid lupus erythematosus. So there are other causes which leads to baldness, and there is one more condition I can recall is alopecia areata. So these are the medical condition in which you have to control the baldness with medicine, and in few condition even if you do the surgery, the hair won't grow. So if the tissue is inflamed, if the skin is inflamed, and if you are putting an extra hair, it will not grow. So first of all, it is very important to understand what is the diagnosis. So first case or the first indication who is requiring the hair transplant surgery is androgenetic alopecia. Now let's discuss about the second thing. While like all cases of androgenetic alopecia require surgery or not, again a very tricky question. I would say if the baldness is stabilized or static or the hair loss is not progressive, then you should be looking for hair transplant surgery. So what if the condition, if the baldness is progressive and you are doing the surgery in unstable cases? Like let's take a case of 30-year-old man who has done the surgery 2 years back. So what happens with this case? So suppose I do the surgery on the front area, as the baldness is a very progressive condition, as androgenetic alopecia is a very progressive condition, the back area, the mid scalp area and the crown area, the hair will eventually go because of the hormone we know, testosterone. So once the diagnosis is established, it is very important to understand that the baldness is stable, then you should go for the hair transplant surgery. So here comes the second thing, the stable alopecia or the established or well designed baldness. So I am not saying that all patients who is having the progressive hair fall, they cannot do the surgery. So suppose I would say, I'll give you the example of the actor Salman Khan. I think have done the surgery, I think in his 35 or 40 years, but his baldness was progressive. So he is in acting field. Many of the model, because I work in Mumbai, so many of the corporate people who are sitting at MD, CEO post or very very high post in the corporate world, they want to look at their best. So in such condition, you should be doing the surgery in order to match the younger looking population. So I'm not saying only stable alopecia or stable androgenetic alopecia can do the surgery, but if you are having the unstable condition, your social demand is there, or you feel little insecure about the condition, then you can do the surgery. Okay, the fourth thing and very important thing, unstable or progressive alopecia. But society need or the social status. If somebody is younger than 25 and they do the surgery, so you know what, in such cases, as everyone know about androgenetic alopecia, this is a hormonally dependent condition. In your early 20s, if you have started losing the hair, very likely in 2 or 3 years you will have the alopecia which is full-fledged. So if I do the surgery in the front area, in 2 years I'll be requiring the hair for the back of the head area. So it is very important, we counsel such patients, we tell them you must wait for the surgery to happen. You should be treating your alopecia with medicine like finasteride, dutasteride, or topical solution called minoxidil. So these are the option for them in order to delay the surgery. It is very encouraging, or it is very lucrative for any hair transplant surgeon to go for the surgery. But as an honest opinion maker, as a honest doctor, it is always we put the patient's interest in the center, and then we always tell them it is better if you delay the surgery after the 25 years. Okay, after 25, and if somebody is having the androgenetic alopecia. The fifth thing is very important, if the donor area is good. As a dermatologist, we can actually scan the scalp through dermatoscope or a trichoscope, and we can actually judge whether the donor area is good. The diameter of the hair is somewhere around 8 or 900 micron. With every follicular unit, if I'll be able to get somewhere around 2 or 3 different follicles, then these are the good donor area, and I should be going ahead with the surgery. If you have the patients having the very sparse density at the back of the head, I would not encourage them to go for the surgery. We typically see such cases, and we call this condition is a DOPA, that is a diffuse unpatterned alopecia. So if somebody is having the good donor area and the diagnosis is androgenetic alopecia, thumbs up for the surgery. I think the sixth topic that I'm touching, I don't think so many of such patients come to usual clinical OPD, but we end up doing such surgery in occasional, in very rarity. Like suppose somebody is having the alopecia areata, tried, it's an inflammatory scalp disorder in which we give oral steroid, oral immunomodulator, topical steroid, topical immunomodulators, and we try to grow the hair. But sometimes after taking the medicine for such a long time, the effect is not good. So in such cases, very small patch, we end up doing the surgery. So it's a very rare case. We don't see it too often. Even the female hair transplant, I think nowadays in 2019 and 2020 that we are living in pandemic, I think the small fraction of female are also looking for hair transplant surgery, as genetically the forehead is big or the parting is bit wider. In such case, we do the hair transplant surgery. So these are the condition, very rare. We don't see those patients very frequently, but yes, we do the surgery in such cases. The female hair transplant and alopecia areata, or even sometimes the scar of burns or post-traumatic scar. So let's summarize the thing. If I want to do the hair transplant surgery, the 5 or 6 thing is very important. Androgenetic alopecia, the diagnosis should be confirmed. The alopecia should be kind of stabilized. The progressive baldness is there, then you should be asking the patients about the social condition and what social strata he belongs to, and whether he is needing the surgery, and he should be always counseled that after a few years he will be needing second or third surgery. Age about 25, good donor area, female hair transplant, and this other rare condition. I believe this is an informative video. If you want to understand more about the hair transplant, cosmetic procedures like Botox, fillers, sunscreen, face wash, do connect to us. Do mention the stuff in comment box. We'll try to address one by one. Thanks a lot once again, Dr. Malay Mehta from Mumbai. Bye.